and we are in paradise again. We are back at Savahi Lagoon Resort. Last night we stayed over at Stevenson's, and then we've come back here and they've upgraded us from that room to a room on the other side. Oh, let me just get you back in there. There you go. It's apparently the honeymoon suite. We're not on a honeymoon, okay? Maybe we are. Don't know, hey? So I'm here because I want to talk about a dive I just did this morning or this afternoon. Yeah, it was amazing. Anyway, I'll wait and see if anyone else comes on. Look, I do these random lives and I don't plan them. I just do them. So, I'm sure not many people will jump on. It was interesting. I did a live yesterday afternoon at a church. It's probably my favourite live I've ever done because I was in a really cool church ruin. Go back and see that one. It's the previous live. It is so cool. This church basically was engulfed by lava. This whole area has been engulfed by lava. And people are living, their whole yard has got just lava rocks and they just grow things in between it. It's really interesting. And, instead of a front yard of grass, you have a front yard of lava rock rubble. It's crazy. You know what? Samoa is a really cool country. That's where I am right now. Savahi is the island, the bigger island of Samoa. It's not the main island, so to speak. The main island is Apollo. I don't know if I got that right. Apollo. Hi, who just jumped on. Just wanted to talk about a dive I did this morning out here in paradise. Just out here. I did 2 dives actually. So, yeah, I went with these guys here. I'll just show you, turn it around. Dive Savahi. They use a little swimming hole there as a refresher. I'm Dora from Exploradora 80. My goal is to see 80 countries in this world. I know there's more than 80 countries, but I don't know, when I was 20, I just kind of come up with this idea that I wanted to see 20. Hello, I can't see who that is, sorry. A hiking channel, I think. Hi, how you going? I wanted to see, in my 20s, I came up with the idea that I wanted to see 80 countries. I know there's more than 80 countries, but I just said, you know what? Let's aim high, 80 countries. And Samoa is my 61st country, so it's pretty cool. So I really I did today, just out here, literally just out here. So we are on the island of Savahi in Samoa, and there's quite good diving here because look at this place. It's just magic. Absolute magic. And so I did 2 dives this morning. The dive cost me 280 tala for 2 tanks. So that would be, if you're Australian, I reckon that's probably $150. I really wish I could go to that beach someday. Oh, honestly, look, let me turn it around. Look at this. It's low tide now, but in the mornings it's quite high. And it's so nice. If you've seen a couple of my lives, I did a painting. I tried to do a painting of this little socks there yesterday, and then I also did a live having a cup of tea in the morning, so you can actually see this whole area like full of water a little bit more, and it looks picturesque in the morning with the sun on it. It's just really cool. So anyway, there's a few people on, and I really wanted to just talk about this dive. I don't know if anyone's a diver out there. I wouldn't really say that I'm a diver. I'm a novice diver. I'm a very nervous diver. Anyone want to say that they're a diver? So anyway, that's what my live is about today, about diving, and my 25th dive. I had no idea I'd done 25. So as a diver, you have, well, you can fill out the book if you want to. It's a dive book, and you kind of register, like, you know, you write the date you've been on the dive, where you went the dive, who did the dive, like a guide, like the visibility, the depth, how long, all those kind of things. So it's a good kind of memory, and then you get a stamp, like a, you know, a passport stamp, that kind of thing. But most dive sites have, like, you know, a stamp with their name on it, kind of thing. So I did the dive with Dive Savahi. So I'm on Savahi Island. So it's called Dive Savahi. Owned by a German couple, really nice couple. Olaf, have I got that right? Olaf, I think his name's Olaf. Wait, you live here? Sorry, I can't understand that. But anyway, so this dive that I did was, I purposely wanted to do this dive because there's a shipwreck out there. And I don't know if you're a diver, you like shipwreck dives. Or maybe it's just me, I don't know. But the 25 dives I've done, I think I've done 4 different shipwreck dives now. And one was actually a plane wreck from Japanese plane wreck. It was a bomber in Solomon Islands, and that was really cool too. So anything wreck-wise, I like to dive on. And there was another dive site I went to in Vanuatu, and you could actually swim through the boat. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty wild actually. Anyway, so this dive out here, the second dive, I'm so glad it was a second dive. I'm quite a nervous diver. The last time I dived was 5 years ago. So you can hear me, can't you? I'm just thinking that. Can you hear me? Can someone say they can hear me? Hey T, how you going? Yes, you can hear me. Okay, cool. So yeah, I wish. No, so let me tell you about this dive boat. I mean, like this shipwreck. It's an old ministry boat. Ministry boat. So basically, yesterday, if you were on the live, I know T, you just jumped on at the end when you were about to go to bed. You saw the church ruin that I was at. So that's quite significant about that church, old church ruin, because that was one of the first churches that was built here from the missionaries. Because obviously Samoa, the islanders itself, they weren't Christian to start with. So how did they get Christianity here? Because Samoa is like 99.9% all Christians. There are so many churches. Like, you go through a little village and you think you saw about 5 houses and there's like 3 churches. Like, it's that crazy. Like, there's so many churches here. So Christianity came here, and there was a guy called John Williams. I believe he could be British. I probably should have researched. I'm sure it was English. He basically was doing on a boat. They had the boat. It was called John Williams. And basically, he was tripping around the South Pacific. And out here, there's a reef. It's pretty flat at the moment. You can't really see it, but you can see a bit of waves out the back there. That's where the reef is. And there's a little passage that you can come through, right? And that's an old wharf over there. So the boat was coming through and it hit a wreck, basically. So, you know, the irony is that he was saved. All the people on the plane, oh my God, all the people on the boat, children, women, everyone was saved. So basically the locals saw the boat, you know, getting hit by rocks and everything, or getting stuck on the wreck, oh my God, on the reef. And they got their canoes, old style canoes, outboards, do they call them outboarders? I don't know. Outriggers. And then basically got out there and saved all the people. So T, I believe that all the items from the shipwreck is in a museum. I think it could be in New Zealand. I did have a quick Google search. It looked like it was from New Zealand. But this boat, I didn't, again, it's interesting when you travel and you don't do a lot of research. Like, for example, this sounds really naive of me, doesn't it? I mean, I do research, but what I'm saying is sometimes, like, not seeing a picture of a place, like, for example, I knew there was diving here in Samoa, and I brought my dive card, right? But I didn't research where I was going to dive, because then you get some expectations of what you're going to see, and you could be disappointed. So to have no expectations is better, because when you see, you're like, oh, wow, look at that. So I knew there was a dive site out there, and I knew there was a shipwreck, but I didn't know anything about it. So, you know, our dive master, Olaf, German guy, hopefully I said that right, was saying that, yeah, a guy called John Williams, the boat was called John Williams, and John Williams was on the boat, and it's 60 meters long. It was huge. And yeah, I mean, you have a concept of how big 60 meters is, but when you're underwater and you see it, it's pretty wild. So, like, you get into the water, and I'm kind of expecting to see it straight away, like, you know, instantly. You know, we live in this instant world, right? And you don't. You basically go around, you know, I guess a reef base kind of thing. You kind of go around, and I'm kind of like, where is this shipwreck? And I'm like, like, it probably was 15 minutes down underwater. And I'm like, did we go to the right place? Like, you know, am I going to see the shipwreck? Because I was just so excited to see the shipwreck. And then, yeah, and then it just appears, and I'm just like, wow. It's like we're right at the bottom, I think the stern. I think we're looking up at it. It was wild. Of course I videoed it. Okay, yes, I videoed it, and on the GoPro. But yeah, I was just like, wow. So basically we went all the way around the boat. We didn't kind of go in the boat, but we kind of went under the rafters, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so there's not much left of the boat. It's old, I believe. 19 something. 19. I don't know. I'll put it in the description. I should know these things, but, you know, just jump on a live and just wrap it on, okay? But yes, I was just like underwater going, oh my God. Like I said, I really love, like, diving on shipwrecks. It's just like, you know, the history, which then you go and read later on. And it's just these, you know, it's so weird to see a shipwreck under the ground, you know, under the water, and with, like, you know, coral growing on it and things like that. So another thing is there's not much coral out here at the moment. I think I talked about this. I don't know, did I talk about this? I'm not sure. On another live. But there was a big cyclone here, 2 cyclones back to back, basically, year after year, and it hammered the coral out here. So it's all kind of coming back. And yeah, so that's kind of sad. So a lot of the coral out there that you see is not that fabulous. So the first dive I did, which was dive 24, maybe I've been a little bit spoilt with some of my dives. I actually learnt to dive in Belize. I know how spoilt am I? I learnt to dive in Belize. I was living in Mexico at the time, and it was 2013, a while ago now, and it was a bad year for me. I'd broken up with a boyfriend, and a whole lot of things happened, okay? And I found myself in Mexico, living there for a while. And I wanted to finish the year with something positive, and not remembering that 2013 was a year that these terrible things happened. So I was like, I've always wanted to dive. Let's go to Belize and dive. So I had this motto in my head: believe in Belize, believe in Belize, because it's going to change your mindset, kind of thing. And I was starting to do a bit of meditation and, working on myself, mindfulness. How have I turned this into mindfulness when I was talking about diving? But anyway, yeah, so I learned to dive in Belize, and it's interesting when you learn to dive in different countries other than, like, for example, Australia. I've only dived once in Australia, and I've dived 24 other dives in other places around the world. I mean, that's pretty bad, isn't it? Like, Australia has like the Great Barrier Reef, and I've never dived in the Great Barrier Reef. I've snorkeled a little bit of it, but I've never dived on the Great Barrier Reef. It's terrible. So I am planning to do that, okay? Because this dive has got me so excited. So I was talking about Belize. Love Belize. It's very, very laid back and cool. Like, it's very much like Jamaica. Like, you know, yeah, man. And there's a lot of ganja smoking kind of thing. I'm not into that. If you are, that's great, but I'm not. But it's just, that's the place, you know, on the island, Cape Corker. It's very laid back and relaxed. Lots of palm trees and coconut trees kind of thing. Very much like this, hey? But anything, like, it's very relaxed. So probably a bit too relaxed. So when I learnt to dive, like my first dive, I was underwater for 60 minutes and I went to like 20 meters. Like, that's, yeah, like my first dive. So I know in Australia, if you do your first dive, it's in a pool. Like, they don't let you loose out into in the ocean. So I probably didn't learn to dive properly. So clearing your mask and all those kind of things, I haven't really done properly because they were very relaxed. So I think this is why I'm quite a nervous diver. So every time I dive, it's been like for example, last time I dived was 5 years ago in Solomon Islands. 5 years is a long time to dive. So I actually asked if they did a refresher course here. So I paid another 100 tala, which is probably about $70 Australian, $40 American, to go through a refresher. So remember yesterday I was showing you there's a bit of a green hole there, at the back there. Those two actually were on the dive with me. They're another German couple. So my dive guide, what do you call them? Dive pro. He took me into his little hole and basically went through like clearing your mask. Actually, which is really cool, is taking your regulator out and breathing, blowing bubbles, and then putting it back in. That was cool. I'm sure I did that when I first learnt to dive, but I haven't done that since. So that's really important to do, because if you're scuba diving behind someone and someone kicks the regulator out of your mouth, you need to not stress. You need to be able to put it back in your mouth. So that was really, really handy. So I'm a big believer of these refresher courses, and I'm going to do another refresher course. I'm going to move back. It's a little bit hot where I'm sitting right now. Let's keep on moving back. Let me turn this around while I'm moving back. There we go. I was going to do another painting. I've ended up doing another live instead. Let me show you a little bit out here. So we are at Savahi Lagoon Resort. There's a lagoon here. This is classed as a 3-star resort. It's pretty nice. We stayed there first night here on this island, and then we stayed over there because there was no more space here, and now we've moved up to on the other side. I'll show you that later maybe. But yeah, it's a beautiful place. And oh yeah, show you the water. This blue, greeny kind of, I don't know if you can see that. There's a bit of a green, blue. There's a natural hole there. That's the dive boat we went out with, Dive Savahi. They're just behind here. So let's sit back down again. Dora, you live one super exciting life. Yeah, look, T, I am eternally grateful. I literally just had a birthday yesterday or the day before. I turned the ripe old age of 50, half a century, man. And, you know, I've definitely lived the hell out of my life. I'm very, very grateful for that. So, yeah. So like I said about diving, yeah, like if you don't learn properly, I think you can tend to be a little bit complacent, and especially when you do a dive. Like, for example, like I dived in Vanuatu, and they do it all for you. Like, you know, they get you basically, you kind of check some of the things. I don't know the words of them. That's how bad it is, right? You know, you check. Thanks, T. I am a young lady. Look at these chubby cheeks. I'm really 30, okay? Dressed up in a 50-year-old wrinkle face. No, it's not. I'm not that wrinkly. It's the Asian in me. So I thank my mum for that, okay? Yeah, like when you normally do these dives, basically everything's set up for you. Like I've never had to put the regulator on and do all the things attached to the vest and all those kind of things, and that, you know, the oxygen and all that kind of stuff. I've never had to connect that again since the first time I did the dive course. So I guess that's what I'm saying. It's quite complacent when you do these dives. Like, you know, I've done 20 odd dives since my dive course I did. It's called Paddy's Paddy's Open Water. That's it. Paddy's Open Water, which is a 3-day course, and you learn how to do. You know, you do all the things, right? But you don't remember these things. Like I said, it's 2013, and if you don't dive regularly, you lose it. Like anything, if you don't practice a language, you lose it. So, yeah, like it's been 5 years, and in Australia, right? They actually, if you haven't dived in 1 year, they make you do a refresher. And a refresher in Australia probably about $200. So diving in Australia is actually quite expensive, but in ways it's worth it because, you know it's quite safe. And, you know, depending on which country you're coming from, like I mean, a few of you are from America, I know T, you're from America, you know, you've got tight regulations. So again, diving in America would be very by the book. Whereas, you know, some countries you go to, it's kind of very blasé. Like I said, Belize, very, yeah, man, go for it, man, jump in the water, man, you're right, man, go for it. Like I said, my first dive was 60 minutes and I went to 20 meters. So, you know, that's a lot. And when I've told friends about that, they're like, what? You dive for 60 minutes on your first dive? That's nuts. And my next dive was 45 minutes. I mean, I didn't even know how to clear my mask properly. And like if someone hit my regulator out, I mean, I know I had learnt those same things, but you know, they're not practiced really. Like you jumped in the water and you just went for it. So like, yeah. So anyway, moral of my story is, if you're a diver, do the refresher course. I really am going to do another refresher course. I really hope that Diego would want to get into diving. For one of his birthdays, I paid for an introductory dive for him. And that was my first dive in Australia. That was a dive on a wreck called Flinders Reef, which is kind of notorious for sharks. So yeah, that's another thing. My first dive in Belize, I jumped in the water and there was reef sharks. I was just like, oh, hello sharkies. And obviously reef sharks aren't dangerous. But I was just like, no sharks. But yeah, the dive that I took Diego on, Diego, he's just not nervous. The guide basically, you know, did all a few things with him, and you've got to hold hands with the guide because Diego wasn't certified. And the guide even said, look, you're fine, mate. Like after a little while, he's like, I'm here, but you know, you can do your thing because, you know what you're doing. And here am me, I'm still like, you know, nervous. So, and the thing is, I'm nervous because I probably haven't learned properly and I'm just not retained it. So today, my first dive, I was nervous and a bit anxious, but you know, I got through it. And like, you use a lot of air when you're nervous and anxious. So I go through a lot of air fast. So they ask you underwater, like, you know, what your gauge is. And I can't show you now, but you show, like, you look at your regulator. Is it regulator? No, your thing. Oh, see, this is bad. I'll look at so you can see how much gas you've used. And so when you get to half a tank, they need to know. So you like let them know that you're on half a tank, so they kind of know that you know where you're at and how long you're going to be till you need to go up. And I did say to them specifically, I'm a nervous diver. You know, I don't want to let the other two that are quite experienced, you know, have to go up with me. I said, so if you can help me, just, you know, let me know when I can go up. I'll let you know when I'm half tank, and then, you know, I can go up myself. So on both dives, they did that because they spent another 15 minutes down there. So my first dive was 30 minutes on a coral canyon it was called. So it's like a canyon under the ground. Under the water. It was pretty cool. And then, yeah, the second dive was 22 minutes that I was under the water seeing the shipwreck, the John Williams shipwreck. So yeah, that was really cool. Now I know there's a couple of messages in here and I can't kind of see because the sun. So let me just put my goggles on and see if I can see something. Oh, let's take those off. I am disorientated here, I can't really see. Let me turn this around so you can see a bit of nature and kayaks. I'd like to go kayaking this afternoon. That'd be cool. It's free to use. Hey Jordan, how you going? Yeah, Jordan. Sharks. Tell you interesting. One of my dives was, look, I don't like zoos and like aquariums because you know I like animals to be free. I was, someone was trying to get rid of a gift and they wanted the money, and they pestered me for like a couple of weeks saying, oh look, you're the only friend I know that is a diver, please take this off. You know, my husband was given this as a gift, he's not a diver, he doesn't want it, please can you take it off me. So I was like, it was for $100 and it was a dive in an aquarium called Underwater World, and it was with sharks. So I was like, I was really conflicted. Like, as I said, I don't like zoos and aquariums, but went, okay, I'm a hypocrite. I went and basically these giant ass sharks. Oh my God, I can't believe I did it. And the way they do this aquarium, like they obviously go down and the divers go down and clean the glass and all that kind of stuff, and they feed the fish and the sharks. But there's some kind of bubble system that if you stay behind the bubbles, the sharks will not come near you or into the bubble section. So I don't, yeah, as I said, it's crazy how it works. But basically you go down into this tank with your snorkel, or not snorkel, with your scuba gear. You're not deep, obviously, but you are underwater with these giant sharks. Like, yeah, Jordan, big ass sharks. And I'm just standing there getting a selfie. There's a shark coming by. I'm just like, oh, yeah, it was crazy actually. It was a bit unnerving. But yeah, look, I've got to say, with diving, there is that, you know, that feeling of like you're out there. We are just, you know, we're in borrowed time over there basically, because, you know, we are visitors in the, you know, in the water, and that's their backyard, not our backyard. You know, like sharks on land are going to look weird. Humans in water look weird. So you just got to have respect and just have faith in the higher power of whatever you believe in, that you'll be okay. And if that doesn't work, sharks. I don't know if that works. I mean, I've heard people say if a shark comes to you, you've got to, actually, yeah, in the eyes. But I've actually heard recently that you're supposed to push their nose down. I mean, if a shark's coming towards me, I don't know, like, mate, I know you shouldn't swim away because that's even worse. But if a shark's coming towards me, I would definitely shit myself. And that's probably not a good thing. I'd smell that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm joking. But I don't know what I do. But, you know, when my time's up, my time's up. And I think anywhere you go, like even driving in a car, you've got less chance of being bitten by a shark out there than being hurt on the road, because, you know, the odds are higher on the road that something's going to happen. Anyway, that's my thoughts. What do you think, Jordan? Or T, or whoever's out there? Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to say I was just dead set so excited. Oh, actually, another thing that I saw on this last dive, it's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Have you ever heard of Christmas worms? I have never heard of this before, okay? Christmas worms. Google it. There's a scientific name for it. But Christmas worms look like little Lego people underwater. the dive pro was like pointing above, like really close, pointing above. He's like, look. And I'm like, oh my God, like, why have people put Lego on coral? Like, what the hell? Like, I actually thought it was Lego. It was like bright colors, like blues and purples and greens and oranges. And they're like little this size on top of kind of like a coral shelf. And I'm like, what the hell? Like this, what are you showing? This is ridiculous. And I looked a bit close and I'm like, it's like, I knew it wasn't Lego, but I'm like, what the hell is it? Like the bright colors that you don't see out there because the coral has been pretty much wiped out by the cyclones that have happened here. But you see a bit of coral, but nothing like these bright blues and purples and yellows, like nothing like it. And then he put his hand over it and the worms go down. They were so cool. And I got that on video, so I have got to show you that. It's so cool. And when you go back to the dive shop and you fill out your logbook, I said to the lady, I was like, oh my God, like I saw these things that blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, they're called Christmas worms. And she showed me in the book and then I Googled it and I'm like, that is one of the coolest animals I've ever seen. Like, wow. So yeah, I'm just absolutely blown away by the Christmas worms in the ocean. Wait till I show you a photo actually. Actually, what I might do, I'll take a screenshot from Google and I'll put it in my post so you can see it, because honestly, I mean, the shipwreck was amazing, but that was even more amazing. So just drinking Samoa water. So you can't drink the water out of the taps here, except for this place where we're staying. They have a filtration system. I'm just going to show you. It's pretty cool actually. Oops. See here. They put a filtration system in. So basically you can use it, all the water here is filtered and you can drink it straight out of the tap. So they believe they want to, get rid of plastic basically, because plastic is bad, and especially bad out there because, you see a lot of water bottles out there when you're diving and stuff. Well, not really when you're diving, but when you're swimming or even walking along the beach, you see so many water bottles. It's so sad. Oh, well, I've got some more messages here. Let me just turn that around so you don't see my forehead trying to read that. So Homestead Made Easy, who is Jordan, you should check out his channel. He said he saw my first whale about 7 or 8 years ago, and honestly that made me sick to my stomach and nervous. They're friendly. Yeah, they are friendly. And T says, and that's Embrace the Journey, that's T, check him out too, or him and her. Sorry, T, Karen's your wife, I think. Swimming with sharks sounds like a good for a novel. Yeah. Homestead Made Easy said, I think you're supposed to push the nose down and try to push the body up, which loses some balance. Mate, I don't know. I really don't want to try that. I don't want to have to go through that, but I should actually do some research on that because, yeah, I have no idea what I would see. Like, I always literally I'm hanging, not hanging, but like I'm so close to the dive pro because, just in case something bad happens, that I'll be like, you can deal with that shark. No, that's really bad of me, isn't it? Another time I was diving, and this is probably why I'm a nervous diver, was I was diving in the Philippines, and God, I sound like a spoiled brat, I was there and I was there and I was there. Oh look, there's a chicken, literally a chicken. Hey chicken. Pretty cool, hey? This place has chickens running around, there's pigs, it's wild. Yes, Philippines. So I did a couple of dives on a few different days. Actually, it was for my birthday, actually. This happened on my birthday. a few years ago. I was in the Philippines, and I think it was my second last dive. Did 3 dives this day. The middle dive, I must have been having such a great time. I forgot to look at one stage at my regulator to see how much gas or oxygen I had left, and I ran out. So I'm underwater thinking to myself, something feels funny. Like I was like, is it my mouth? I was trying to is it my mask? Like something feels funny. Like, something's up. And basically the dive master just, grabbed me and basically pulled out my regulator and put it in his his buddy regulator. So that was my first time I've actually tried the buddy dive, other than when I first learned to dive and you actually practice your buddy dive by, using your buddy's regulator. So that was a good and a bad experience because I ran out of air and I didn't know what was happening. And so thank God, my guide was near me that he could see that. I mean, I did kind of go like, something's up, and he knew straight away that I was out. Where am I going with this? Oh, yeah, that's why I was nervous. Yeah, so that kind of unnerved me. And then I went up for my third dive, and when they went to put the regulator on, it made all this noise, and it kind of like not blew up, but it broke. So they had to change that over. And I'm just like, like, what if that happened when I was underneath the water? Oh my God. So that really unnerved me. So I was like, you know what? Just get back into the water. Otherwise you'll never dive again. And that third dive was fine. But I just remember that was a birthday, and I was there by myself solo backpacking in a place called El Nido, down in the Palawan Islands. Absolutely spectacular. Like there's all these little islands. It's just so picturesque. And yeah, I remember that night I was just like, oh my God, don't tell my mum about that. Like that happened, because she freaks out about me diving in general. I always tell her after I've dived because she freaks out. So anyway, I think I've only got one person on. I don't know who's left there. Anyway, any questions about diving that I might be able to answer? Because I said I'm a novice diver. And anything else you want to know about Samoa? Because it's pretty bloody beautiful. So the sun is going to set here, and it's absolutely spectacular. So tonight at the restaurant, they've got some rugby playing. So Samoa love their rugby. The Waratahs are playing, which is a New Zealand team. And look, a lot of Samoans live in New Zealand for work, and then they come back to visit their family, or they come back to work for a bit here, and then they go back to New Zealand to get jobs and stuff. So I think they invite the locals over. So that could be quite interesting to watch, actually. I'm not that really into football and rugby as much as, other people are. But yeah, I don't mind it. Rugby guys are pretty hot, actually. I am here with Diego. So Diego he got roasted today. He went snorkeling, and I said to him, do you want some sunscreen? And he's like, nah, because, sunscreen's full of carcinogenics and all the things. But I still wear it because, well, I don't want to get completely sunburned. Anyway, he is like a red lobster. So anyway, he's having a little resty now, and I'm like, you're going to be so hot tonight, like in the way that he's going to be hot skin tonight. So anyway, good luck to him. So anyway, anyone there want to say hello? Otherwise, I'm probably going to go. So Jordan, you said you think you should push the nose down and try to push the body up. It loses some balance. Okay, so T, you're there still. Hey T, hope you're well. I haven't caught up on your videos lately. I've been on holidays, and the reception here is not that greatest. Funnily enough, the reception's not great, but I can do lives. I don't go figure. I don't know how it works, and that's why I'm doing lives. Not that I was going to sit there and edit videos anyway, but yeah, even watching people's videos, you know, lying here, it's hard to, yeah, like it'll load and then it'll stop. So yeah, so forgive me if I haven't watched your videos. You know, you know I'll catch up. But I think I'm going to go because I've rambled enough. There's no questions. Honestly, it is a beautiful place. Do you want me to show you where I'm staying, the room? Because it's actually pretty nice. Come on, I'll take you for a little walk, okay? Then we'll finish off. Oops, I'll turn around. That's my big knob. So there, you can see the sun's going to set here. It's pretty nice. It's the other rooms. The staff have got the dining room and the kitchen, the bar area all ready for dinner tonight. So happy hours on at 4 o'clock. Oh, which is now. Paddles. Oh, we went for a dive.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did 2 dives.
Was it all right?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. There's a shipwreck out there.
Yeah, that when we went on the
Glass bottom boat. You saw it, did you?
no. The guy said that there's a wreck out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were the same one, I think, weren't
Oh,
we?
yeah, we were too.
Yeah, we were on the same one, yeah.
From Redcliffe,
Yes, that's right.
that's right.
Are you from
Mango.
Mango Hill? Yeah, there you go.
We
That's
come all this way to meet.
I know, that's so funny. Like literally 20 minutes away from where I live.
Yeah.
So funny.
It's a small world.
It's a small world, it really
I
is.
was talking to your partner before. And,
Yeah.
It's amazing stuff. But being close.
Oh, and then yeah, here we are in Samoa, and we're like staying next room.
Survive.
Yeah, I'm staying in the next room from each other. Yeah, but yeah, the dive, the actual shipwreck is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's
A lot
actually
of fish.
yeah, little baby fish.
Oh, yeah.
There's some big fish. I mean, you saw some parrotfish and stuff like that, and some really pretty, yeah, some pretty stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shipwreck's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know the other couple from. Well,
The German couple.
yeah.
Yep.
They were with you on the dive.
Yeah, they've been 3 times to the same dive site.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She told me they love diving.
I noticed today that the dive boat went out. Well, you've got your marker here.
Yeah.
But they went out straight out to the point.
Yeah. So that's it was called Canyon. Oh, God, it's Canyon something.
Okay.
So it was like a canyon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Did you
So
dive there?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you dive there first, and then you went
You
to
went
the
back there.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a diver. It just freaks me out.
I can't hardly call myself a diver. I get freaked out all the time. Yeah.
So you went underneath with the.
Yeah. So I've done the PADI certificate.
Oh, okay, you got that. Yeah.
So that was my 25th dive. So I'm still, but the problem is, I don't dive regularly.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Like my last dive was 5 years ago. So I did a refresher with a guy in the pool.
Okay.
And that was really handy to learn, you know, just remember things and do things that I probably didn't learn when I first learned. So that was good, but it's still, I'm just a nervous diver. Whereas, you know, I took him on a introductory dive and he just went straight into it. Loved it.
Duck to water.
Duck to water. And I'm here like, what the hell? Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy.
Great.
Yeah. But I think I said to Ben, I'm going to do some more diving sooner than later, and just get some more dives in, just to be more confident, and I'll probably learn in Australia because
Is there anything like that on Redcliffe?
No, there isn't. You've got to go down to Mooloolaba. You can do it on Mooloolaba. There's a dive.
Fair hike though.
Oh yeah, but it's not that far. Not that far. There's a shipwreck out the HMS.
Yes,
That's
we
what
watched it on TV.
We watched it blow up.
Yeah, so I'd like to dive there actually. So that might be my next dive, to be honest.
Oh, what's it? Where the dolphins? Where you feed the dolphins? Tangalooma, that's a good place to dive.
Oh, you can dive out there too. Yeah, of course you
There's
can.
a shipwreck.
Yeah, there is a shipwreck there. I've snorkeled around that one a few times, and there's some sharks sometimes there too. Yeah.
Recently.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, okay.
I like my feet. Thank you.
Yeah,
I saw when I went on a trip there, I saw the dugongs.
See, I've never seen the dugongs before.
Ugly.
Oh no, elephants of the water.
Underwater elephant.
Underwater. Yeah, I'd love. That's the animal I really want to see.
Yeah, they're supposedly related to the elephants.
I don't know how, but yeah.
Some passage at Bribey Island.
Yes, I've heard that too. Yeah. So, I'm surprised they don't do diving at Bribey, to be honest.
I don't think
There's probably nothing there to see.
to do.
Yeah, the sharks on one side and dugongs on the other.
And then the Bribey will wash away.
Yeah, well, it's true.
Half of it's gone.
It's true. Yeah.
That's good you had such a great day.
Oh, it was awesome. Awesome. And we saw these things called Christmas worms. Google it later on. I've never seen it before. And the guy's going, like, kind of pointing to something. I was like, what's he looking at? So you kind of focus a little bit and you're like, what the hell's that? And on this coral, there's these little, just really little things. And they're like purple, blues, yellows, oranges, all these. And I thought at first, I'm like, they look like little Lego men. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are you showing us? Like, that's terrible.
Because I wouldn't relate to that.
Oh, no, I don't have any kids, but I love Lego. Yeah, but like, I was just like, someone's graffitied or something. It was weird. And then he's like, I looked a bit closer. I'm like, oh, that's a little animal. And then he waves his hand over it, and they pop down. The worms pop down into this coral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know. Yeah.
Christmas worms. I'll Google it when I
Yeah,
get home.
Google it, because when I went into the dive shop, I said to the wife, I said, I saw these things, I don't know what they are. I said, I thought they were like, little Legos. He goes, oh, that's Christmas worms. So she looked it up in the book, and I Googled it, and I was like, yeah, that's them.
So the dive things across the road.
Yeah, next to the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Okay,
saw
yeah.
all the guys go back with the tanks.
Yeah.
Because I had a hamburger for
I'll tell
lunch
you
at
what,
the
they've got
place next door.
Oh, yeah, we went there last night. That was good.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
Ben was saying it was all right.
Yeah,
You had
yeah.
a pizza, right?
We had a pizza, yeah, it was good, yeah.
Oh, no,
Though the food there's pretty bloody good too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's very good. Big
Yeah.
serves.
Yeah, but when you compare prices to that.
Yeah, of course. Oh, you're paying for the view here, aren't you?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I had a bun, B-U-N, Jovi.
Oh, yes, bun jovi, yes. Yes, and chicken little.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I was having a giggle about that too, yeah.
Yeah.
I said to Ben, because the girl there, she's got a bit of an accent, and like an American twang even. The
Well,
main,
Ben was saying that the girl that runs that
yeah.
is the daughter of the parents who own that resort.
That doesn't surprise me because I saw the
Oh,
girl pull up at La Legotta and then come across the road.
oh,
And I think her accommodation is next to that takeaway food place.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ah,
and
okay.
She was well dressed and.
Okay, that would make sense then.
Now, 'cause
Ah.
I don't know why she went there, had parcels, took them there, and then.
Well, Ben
Okay.
told me that today.
Yeah, oh, Ben likes to get all the
Oh,
gossip.
did
there's
He's the
always one-
biggest gossip hound ever. Yeah, I'm surprised he must have forgotten to tell me about that, because we were last night going,
when are you going back?
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning.
What day is it?
What do you do at Red? What do you do for a living?
I work for myself. I'm a support. I guess I'm a glorified support worker, really. But what I try to do is my kind of background is working with young adults with disabilities and trying to get them jobs. So I worked for like employment agencies.
Is it like APM?
Yeah, like those kind of companies. Yeah.
Our daughter is
HR.
Oh, okay.
started in yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I've worked my way around and been managers there and stuff like that.
Work, though.
Yeah, it is. So that's why I tried to go for something different, because I know I'm just a bit jaded about what happened with just like the industry's not that great. Like our job is to find people jobs, but we don't really care about them. We all care about the money,
Yes, and the salvos, I think, probably they've become a little bit off the rails.
Yes, they have actually. Yeah.
Bit top heavy.
Yes, exactly.
You read about NDIS, you really.
Well, this is the other thing. I'm probably going to get out of that one too, because I feel a bit dirty.
Yeah.
because I work with about 4 young adults, and as much as I could get them a job tomorrow, but there's not just about me, it's about the support at home.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole lot of things, you know, like it's support from parents, you know, like it's not like when you get a job, it's like you've got to get there, you've got to, you know, there's a whole background like behind it, like, you know, and I find that sometimes the families are not that supportive. Like we want them to get a job, but really we just want them babysat.
Well, volunteer at Lifeline in North Lakes. I don't know whether you've been there. It's near the Costco
Yep.
building, and I volunteer there 2 days a week. And it's interesting. A couple of the staff in the, well, not staff, volunteers in the back are
India.
Yeah.
yeah, intellectually disabled.
Yeah.
But yeah, they work there. I don't know whether they get paid or whether they're on Centrelink.
Yeah.
But they come with a nice lunch and that. So
Yeah, of course.
So does Centrelink support them and support?
Oh, they get money.
As well?
No, so they get money from Centrelink.
Yep.
The clients do.
Yeah, yeah.
The money of the NDOs comes from the government, obviously. So I get paid from the government to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still damn hard work.
Oh, it's yeah, it is, but
You've got to be a special person. There's no way I can do that.
yeah.
I love volunteering. I mean, all my clothes now are $2.
I know they're great.
Friends, Katie's,
I know.
you name
I
it.
love op shopping. Op shopping is so
you
much
like
fun.
op shopping?
I love it.
Gotta go to
Oh,
this one. This
well,
is the best.
you've got Lifeline at Caloundra's even better. I volunteer there with one of my clients. You've got to go check that out. It's a really unique shop too. Lifeline have got some good stuff, like some interesting shops. I will, yeah,
And
yeah.
We'll try
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
parents live in the aged care in Caloundra.
Oh, well, check it out, Bullcock Street.
Oh,
Yeah, you know it, yeah,
Bullcock Street.
yeah.
Square.
There's a few of them in that street.
Aged care.
Aged care, what's it called? A blue. No, well.
Yeah. Oh, nice chatting.
Nice chatting. We'll see you later, hey?
Absolutely.
I'm going to wake up Ben. Sorry, I had to talk to a couple. They live like 20 minutes away from where I live, literally, all the way to Samoa. And there's a couple that live 20 minutes away from me. So they called it the honeymoon suite because look at this. I mean, how idyllic is this? Literally. Now the sun's gone down a little bit, which is good. There's a little beach there. Let me just see, because Diego's probably asleep. Oh no, he's not asleep. He's just sitting there on his phone. I was just talking to the neighbours. So, oh yeah, let me show you the bathroom. The bathroom's really cool. Check this out. We have an outdoor bathroom. Pretty cool, hey? I won't show you Diego because I might have an apple actually. Happy hour's on. Come down later. So I'm gonna eat my apple and see you later. Adios. Thanks for watching. I think there's no one else there. I don't know. T, it was good to talk to you. Thank you. It's always nice to hear from you too. I'll take you back down. It's happy hour.
Yeah, I know.
You're having your own happy hour.
Yes.
Yeah. Cheaper, I think. That's the restaurant. So tide comes up here. Oh, look, you can see a guy here practicing the fire twirling. I don't know if you can see that. If I stop moving, maybe you can. So pretty. So they're doing the fire twirling. All right, I'm going to eat my apple and say see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.